So I want to ask you, how much money do you really need to start investing or trading? Or how much money do you actually need to start trading after all? And to be honest, you can start with as little as $1,000 if you'd like. But here's the thing, I don't recommend it. And I'm going to explain why, even $1,000, as much as that may be a lot to people or maybe little to others, it's still not enough. And You know, in this video, I want to share my personal experience and why I now recommend that you start out with a bigger amount, if you're serious about, you know, doing like trading, like options trading or anything else that I do. And that's what I want to discuss. So, when I started trading options around 2 years ago, I was very comfortable starting with $1,000 like most beginners. But what I did is I started small. And what I mean by small is that with the taxable account that I trade right now, I started with around a $2,500 balance. I think that's great. I think $2,500 is a small amount to start off with just to get myself comfortable and really get familiar with the strategy that I trade. Because with all the other assets and reserves I've had, I'm not just going to throw a bunch of money into uh, one account and just trade everything in 1 week. I think that's a little crazy, and the best thing you do is just start with a small amount, take one trade, and then gradually over time, you put more money into the account, and then you make more trades, and you'll make even more money. So even though you can successfully scale and you can do very well, I wouldn't recommend that amount anymore. And even with $2,500 or less, you're going to be very limited. You're likely going to make around one or two trades at a time, and you are going to be trading low dollar stocks that I think are not recommended, especially when it comes to subpar stocks that are under $10. It can be a little bit risky, especially if it's a company that's been a low dollar stock for a long time. The chances of it going off the stock exchange or maybe going out of business can put yourself in a risky position. And so this can restrict your ability to grow your account quickly, and it's why I recommend you go with the higher amounts. Now, the problem with small accounts is that it severely limits your flexibility. And with a starting balance of $1,000 to $2,500, you're forced to put more money into single trades, or you got to sit on the sidelines waiting for the perfect setup. And your setups are not always going to be perfect. It'll slow down your learning and account growth dramatically. So, the best solution to go about this is I think it's better to start out with either with a much bigger balance. So I'm talking about between five to $10,000. Now, with $5,000 to $10,000, it gives you enough capital to make 3 to 4 trades at the same time, and you will be better at managing risk properly, and you can take advantage of more opportunities. So as your account grows, you can take more trades, and it can lead to faster income and much faster compounding. So I like the minimum $5,000 threshold, but $10,000 is even better. So, and that's something that I definitely recommend for those who are starting out trading options or for those who are going to take part in the program I'm in. But I think that's the better solution. And here are some takeaways from why I think it's better to start out with a much bigger amount. One, you can start with $1,000, but keep in mind that your journey will be much slower and harder. The second thing is that the $5,000 to $10,000 starting balance is a sweet spot. Especially for beginners who are serious about trading options. Even if you start with a $5,000 balance, it will allow you to, place maybe between 2 to 4 trades in a week. And then if all goes well at the end of the week, you can replenish and you can reuse that capital again the following week to make even more trades. Plus, with the profits that you've made the week prior, you will only do yourselves more good to, increase your capital and with the profits you have. And over time, when you compound that interest, especially when it comes to a 1% a week approach, man, your account can grow exponentially uh, in months and then over time in a few years, and you will see the compounding results of what a $5,000 to $10,000 starting balance could bring to you over time. So I think it's a really good way to really see how compounding interest works when you are placing trades every week, plus making weekly contributions and so forth. And it can definitely make a big difference in that it can really show you, the way to build long-term wealth, you know. And then finally, more capital equals more trades, and that'll lead to faster growth. So you will start out with a small account, don't get me wrong, but the bigger your account gets, the more income that you can generate. And over time, when you compound that 5 to 10 years out, and you see how much income that you can make every week and on a monthly basis, uh, the results are astonishing. And that's what really gets me excited about, you know, trading a strategy that I do right now. Now, I won't discuss the strategy here because that's something that I discuss in one of my latest ebooks, which I'll mention shortly. But when you start out with a small account and then you compound that over time, the results can be remarkable, and you can definitely scale it to easily a 7 figure account and even into an 8 figure account. So, but while it's possible to start small, starting with that $5,000 to $10,000 threshold gives you a massive advantage in both learning speed and your account growth. And if you're thinking about getting into trading, uh, I encourage you to check out my latest ebook called The Power of 1%: Why Slow, Steady Profits Beats Chasing Greed, where I go over a few scenarios of using the 1% calculator and how when you compound that over time, it can easily build into a much bigger account size, whether that's 6 figures or even 7 figures. You will be amazed to see how fast or how far it can go in a matter in the long run. So, if you want to check out that ebook, be sure to check it out via the link in the video description. And if this is something that sparked your interest, feel free to leave a comment or leave your thoughts in the comments section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I'd like to know whether the $5,000 to $10,000 balance might be too much. Do you think you should go lower, or do you think you should go higher? And if you really understand compound interest, don't you think starting small can lead you to much bigger returns in the years ahead? If you don't think that, then I'd love to hear your thoughts and we can start, a meaningful discussion. So, if that interests you, definitely leave a comment below and I'll gladly respond back to it. And definitely feel free to grab my latest ebook and to get on my email list. Once you sign up, you'll get your free copy, and you'll definitely get a lot out of it. And you may be amazed to see uh, what the results that you could potentially get over time. So if that interests you, uh, leave a comment below, and that's all I got. Until next time, peace.